Montgomery Gator and everything about him is an unfortunate tale of having a character with not enough screen time. While the little screen time that he has usually portrays him in not the best light. Which is why you can see a lot of people call him one-dimensional, or that he is the only fully evil Glamrock that we have. But is there any truth behind such statements? After all Glamrocks did a lot of bad things while being under the influence of the storyteller and Glitchtrap. So what makes Monty so different from Roxy and Chica, who seem to be widely beloved? Let's forget about Glitchtrap for some time. Our first introduction to Monty is the intro of Security Breach. In the intro, Monty is shown as pretty calm compared to his bandmates. But there's one frame with him and Freddy that hints to us that they might have some sort of rivalry or beef. While there's gonna be a few more hints to that, that's one of the problems that Monty has as a character. There's no commitment to the introduced ideas. You get a hint that Monty might be like this, or like that. Then you get one or two more hints and that's about it. It is enough to assume something, but it's never enough to change the perspective. And the small amount of screen time that Monty has always shows us that he is just angry. The very first thing that you are gonna to see at the start of the game is that his green room is closed and you can hear how Monty smashes it to pieces. And in the second encounter he destroys a fence right behind you and chases you with a lot of roaring.
There you are!
And that's how it will go for the entire game. He won't have moments like Chica's struggles against the hacking, or Roxy crying before a mirror. Though his tantrum in his room shows us that he has some problems, it's not as telling as the examples of Roxy and Chica. Is it his usual way of having fun? Is he mad that his performance in the concert was interrupted? Is he stressed out from something and it's the only way for him to let off steam? There's no way of knowing for sure. Monty is gonna disappear for a while, and if you are going to go through the loading dock, then this for a while is gonna be even longer. When you are in the daycare, in one of the rooms you can find a birthday party with plushes of Glamrocks at the table. And the plush of Monty is the only one in the box. A possible metaphor for him being the newest of the Glamrocks. Things start to become more interesting when we discover that at some point in time Glamrock Bonnie was a part of the band, and Monty has replaced him. Several messages point to the fact that Monty could have killed Bonnie, and another one shows that Fazbear Entertainment is seemingly happy with this occasion. With Monty showing only aggression and nothing else, it's not hard to see how this has led to the ideas that Monty could have been jealous of Bonnie. But there's a few indications that Fazbear Entertainment might be trying to push Monty up the career ladder. Because Monty not only replaces Bonnie, he will also replace Freddy in one of the endings. And don't forget that hint at their rivalry at the beginning.
If you're part of this, you're scrap. Monty will run the shows until Parts and Service can slap your casing on a new endo.
But why would Fazbear Entertainment try to turn Monty into their main mascot? Or, for that matter, it also could have been Glitchtrap pulling the strings again. At this point it's all just speculation, but when I was talking about Bonnie in the Tale of Glamrock Bonnie, I suggested that the reason for his decommission could have been his unruliness, and a possibility that he could have found something that he shouldn't have. This is practically what Freddy does in Security Breach. Yes, he is in the safe mode, which seems to make him more naive, but he is still Freddy. And he does a lot of stuff against the rules to help Gregory. It's possible that Fazbear Entertainment wanted Monty to be their face, because he is easier to control. Glamrocks were created to entertain, but Monty was created much later in the Pizzaplex history. Maybe he was created with something else in mind. The last piece about Monty is this note that he hides on the catwalks and skips concerts. It doesn't align with all that we know about him so far, and might be a showcase of some sort of regret. Or maybe he skips performances because he knows how Fazbear Entertainment is trying to push him up, and he is not happy with this. As you can see, this is just another idea that is being hinted, but doesn't get any follow-up. We learn that Monty got new clothes, and after confronting him on the catwalks where he was hiding again, lure him into a trap and throw him down. You can see in the cutscene that Monty for a moment has red eyes, which is a clear indication of Glitch Trap's influence. It's important to note how Monty laughs as if he enjoys the hunt, and I'm pretty sure that he is the only Glamrock who does it when chasing Gregory, which doesn't help his image and makes it feel like he's on the same page with Glitch Trap. This fall breaks Monty in halves, and Gregory takes his clothes. What's interesting here is that Freddy doesn't recognize Monty's clothes or pretends not to recognize. Another possible hint at some sort of tension between them. Monty maybe is the newest one, but he still was around for a long time. And even if they were installed after Bonnie's death, I still find it hard to believe that Freddy just didn't recognize them.
My arms are different. Where did you get these parts?
I'd rather not say.
How fortunate. I should now be able to smash through the cyclone fences around the building, the way Monty does.
Exactly like he did.
After such damage, Monty has turned into a wild beast. The only sounds that he makes now are roars and screams of pain if you blind him. You can return to the place where Monty broke the fence in the utility tunnels at the beginning of the game, and see that Monty came from the direction of the room where you can listen to the tapes about Gregory and Vanessa. There's also a side room with a few destroyed staff bots, who were possibly mutilated by Monty. That's it for Monty in Security Breach. A lot of potential that was never realized, a lot of ideas that were never properly explored. The only certain thing about him was that he was angry and he killed Bonnie, which made him not very popular and hard to redeem his actions, even with Glitch Trap on the background. And this might have sealed his fate in the future. We can't know how the development of Ruin was going, but it's possible that this affected Steelwool's priorities. Going through some of the books, Monty gets a few notable moments. We can see in the storyteller that him destroying objects was part of his image, but the storyteller has changed it into something darker.
Montgomery Gator also exhibited disturbing changes. He was all about being a rock and roller, prone to smashing things as part of his extravagant image. Monty was always dramatic, but he had been harmless, at least until the storyteller started messing with him. Now, the alligator was turning into a sulky shadow of his former self. Monty's rampages became more violent, and in between tantrums, he withdrew into a depressive silence that was actually driving children to tears.
In the GGY, Monty has only a small cameo where he starts breakdancing, and it's just a reference to this GIF. Next up is the Monty within. While Monty in this story is the mimic, who just copies and twists Monty's behavior as he pleases, Kane, the protagonist of this book, gave him a small description, calling him jolly, mischievous, aggressive, and egotistical. This is probably the broadest description of Monty that we will ever get. Now, for the biggest part of Monty's background lore, we have the VIP. Monty was created not long before the events of this story. His attraction at the time was not Monty Golf, but Monty's Maze. A warm, foggy, swamp-like labyrinth where Monty was playing a role of a monster who tries to catch his prey, while the willing Pizzaplex customers are trying to find a way out. Thus we have an explanation too as why Monty appears to be so aggressive. His personality was created to play a monster in this maze. Even some of the lines that he says to Devon while hunting him are the lines that we hear in Security Breach.
Don't be scared. Hey, little guy! Party time! Run, run, run! Game over, kid!
An interesting part here is that Monty's bad mood was already a thing, which means that him destroying his own room is not something novel. Remember that this happens before the storyteller and glitch trap.
An Asian woman in a red Pizzaplex visor and matching shirt, with checkered suspenders and black pants, stops you from entering. You might want to come back another day. Monty's in kind of a bad mood. The last kid was just dragged out of the maze, and we're going to close it until he calms down. You hear banging and shouting from inside.
This book also shows to us that Monty becomes very angry when he sees Bonnie's candy, and presumably he sabotages a Bonnie go-kart with Monty's mystery mix. So all prerequisites for Bonnie's murder are already here. But we can see that all of his aggression is just a spectacle, as when Devon wins, Monty shakes his hand. Overall, the books fleshed out Monty as a character quite a bit, showing us why he is the way he is in Security Breach. But unfortunately, it was too late. Monty was left to crawl around the ruined Pizzaplex. In his madness he lost all of his paint, and one of his eyes is now broken. Cassie first encounters him when he ferociously jumps at her from the sewer pipe. There's a lot of marks from his clothes on the walls around the Pizzaplex. He is also under the control of Mixes, which tries to stop Cassie from freeing the Mimic. His behavior now is akin to a wild dog. He sometimes scaredly hides and sometimes tries to bite. This is all what Monty does in Ruin. He is beyond saving.
Her natural inclination is to help the animatronics.
Yes. I could see Chica, I could see Roxy, and Monty
too far.
So that doesn't really
Yeah, Monty's too far gone, but but Chica and Roxy, she's able to.
While Cassie doesn't recognize Monty at first, and later doesn't show much attachment to him, his death was still accidental. Cassie tries to flee from him, and powering up the door also powers up the Bonnie's sign, which electrifies the water and fries Monty. Later, Cassie finds the remains of Glamrock Bonnie, with hints to Monty's involvement in his death. So Monty dying from Bonnie's sign is of course no coincidence. When riding the catwalks above Monty Golf, we can see a little story that Fazbear Entertainment made up to cover up whatever happened between Monty and Bonnie. I think that it's yet again another piece of evidence that Fazbear Entertainment were trying to promote him as much as possible. Otherwise, why put so much effort into this ride? The topic of Monty killing Bonnie is the only topic that can be considered explored, even if we don't know some details. Everything else was barely touched. His rivalry with Freddy, his mischievous nature, his possible regret, and Fazbear Entertainment trying to boost his career, all of these are just blurry theories. The worst part in here is that Monty is completely absent in Help Wanted 2. It makes sense that Jeremy doesn't want anything to do with someone who killed his favorite. But this game could have given Monty so much needed characterization, like it did with others. Maybe we will get some sort of DLC, but the longer we wait, the less hope I have. Aside from that, the upcoming Escape from the Pizzaplex novel features Monty on its cover. Probably he will play an antagonist of this story. Maybe we even could see how he kills Bonnie. But even with the stuff that we have in the books right now, Monty will remain as he is, an aggressive hunter. And with his death, changing his reputation is gonna be hard. There is always a possibility for another Monty to change our perception, but can we even count actions of another Monty as actions of this Monty? After all, I doubt that in every other Pizzaplex every Monty has killed Bonnie. We don't have information about other Pizzaplexes to speculate, so we are going to leave this story here. For now, this is all that we know about Montgomery Gator. Thank you for watching. Press like and subscribe if you liked this video, watch another one if you want to. Good luck and I'll see you again soon.